We've been on the road for a little over 3 years now, full-time.
That's right.
And we've been running the truck for a little over 4.
Can't believe it's been that long.
I know. And we did a ton of research before we hit the road with this lifestyle. And we are getting so many questions from so many of you. We thought we'd put together our most frequently asked questions.
That's right. And he is a researcher to the nth degree.
Yep.
I mean, he researches everything.
Yep. So we know a lot of you are researching. That's why you're asking the questions. And we thought we'd put together a video on our most asked questions as we go down this journey. So stick around.
3, 2, 1, action.
The number one question we get asked by many of you is, do we need a CDL to drive this big rig?
And the answer is,
No.
well, it depends on what state you're in.
Actually, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
It doesn't.
Oh.
So CDL is a commercial driver's license, and we're not commercial. We are a private truck going down the road, not commercial. Now, that being said, Kelly's right. It does depend on the state that you're licensed in. As an example, we started out 4 years ago in Washington State. Washington State does not require any special endorsements to drive a big heavy rig like this, as long as it's not commercial.
That's right.
So we are now licensed in South Dakota. South Dakota does not have any special license requirements to drive this big rig. However, places like Texas do have special license endorsements that you must comply with if you're licensed in that state. So if you are domiciled and your driver's license is in the state of Texas, you have to have special, I believe, and don't give me any hate mail, guys, but I believe it's called special endorsements. As an example, I know Texas requires an air brake endorsement. If you drive a rig with air brakes, whether it be a Class A motorhome, a Class 8 truck, or a medium-duty truck with air brakes, you have to have a special air brake endorsement on your driver's license in the state of Texas. And all 50 states have their own requirements, and they all reciprocate with one another. And what I mean by that is, since we're licensed in the state of South Dakota, and our home state does not require any special endorsements to drive this rig, then we are okay to go in Texas or California or any other state that has their special driver's license requirements for that state. So do we need a CDL, commercial CDL, to drive this rig? Do we need to stop at weigh stations? The short answer is no. Another question that we get asked an awful lot is, what's our solar setup? Well, as you can see, we have 6 200 plus, 200 and change watt solar panels on our roof. They're connected in 3 strings of 2, and they provide, with 6 panels, they provide basically 1,200 watts of solar to our coach. So the solar panels come down from the roof through a combiner box that we have up there, and they come down to this solar charge controller. It's a Victron MPPT 150/100 TR solar controller. This controls the solar panels and feeds it into the rest of the system. I put all Victron hardware in this rig. I like what Victron has done over the years. They have stayed up with technology, and they've done a really good job of letting me control my system through an Android app on my phone. And we've also got a monitor inside, which we'll show you in a second. So it comes down to the solar controller. I've got a 3,000 watt inverter, and I have the Victron Lynx distributor, which is fused, so everything goes into the Lynx and then it comes out of the Lynx to provide power. We have a master battery shutoff switch, and we have the Victron Smart Shunt. Again, I can monitor all this on my Android app on my phone, which is really kind of cool. So Victron, you've done it right. Most of my wiring is 4-aught wiring, and where I don't have 4-aught, I've gone either with number 2 or 2-aught wires. We also built this custom battery rack. The way DRV puts their batteries in, there wasn't enough room to run more than 4 batteries in this coach. So we run Lion Energy lithium batteries, and we've got 8 of them. They're each, I think they're calculated out at 105 amp hours per battery. So we've got basically 840 amp hours of lithium batteries that we run. I ran 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom of the rack, and it stays out of the way of my roller tray. Again, I used 4-aught wire. The way I wired these is I have each individual battery wired with 4-aught cables to a DC block. Again, this is a Victron DC block. They call it the Victron Power In. Each battery is wired into here, and then from there I come out to the battery shutoff switch and to the shunt. And both the top batteries and the bottom batteries are all each individually wired with 4-aught wire. And then inside the rig, we have a graphic depiction of our whole system. It shows me how much power I'm pulling from the grid, how much power my AC loads are pulling, how much power my solar panels and the solar controller are providing, what my DC loads are, and what my battery state of charge is. So this is all really, really nice and convenient. So Victron, you did a nice job. Another question we get asked a lot,
Do we boondock?
and the answer is,
Oh yeah.
we boondock a lot. In fact, boondocking's probably our favorite style of traveling.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like electricity.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
but going back to our solar setup, we haven't spent a real lengthy time, like a month at a time yet on this rig. We're planning on doing that this winter in Quartzsite. But for the most part, the times that we've tried it out, the solars work pretty well.
it's just like we're hooked up. I mean,
Yeah.
other than conserving water and things like that,
Yeah.
you know, and being really cautious about that, our electricity, I mean,
We live like we're plugged
we
in.
do. It's
We live
crazy.
like we're plugged in.
Yeah.
We use the microwave.
Yeah.
We watch the TV. We use our computers. We power up all of our lights.
Yeah.
And we really don't try to conserve electricity at all. With our 800 amp hours of lithium, we've got a residential fridge on board. And so far, so good.
Yeah.
We have not had an issue. Even with the residential fridge, we were very, very concerned about our residential fridge and boondocking.
Yes, and our lights are all LEDs, and
Right.
so it takes just a minute
Yep.
amount of energy.
But
to
we
use
do.
them.
We really like to boondock
Oh,
a
we
lot.
do, yeah.
You
Last
know-
year, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago in Quartzsite, it was the best time ever
Yeah.
to be there and to live like you're plugged in.
Yeah, and that's some of our favorite memories.
Yeah. it
Is Quartzsite 2 years ago, a year and a half ago actually. But we really enjoyed ourselves, and we kind of got hooked on boondocking at that point.
We did.
Now we don't just boondock out in the desert. We try to boondock out in the woods. We try to boondock, you know, wherever we can. And if we're traveling from point A to point B, as we've got coming up this fall, where we have roughly 3,000 miles to go in a short period of time, we're going to do a bunch of overnight stays, just one night at a time. And rather than pay $40, $50, $60 just to pull in, put our heads, you know, make a quick dinner, put our heads down, sleep for 8 hours, get up. A lot of times we don't even unhook the truck when we're running trips like
Right,
that.
yeah.
We just leave the truck hooked up, even if we're in a park. We normally just leave the rig hooked up, and then we just pull out early in the morning and hit the road again. And rather than to spend $40, $50, $60 a night to do that, we prefer to boondock. Now, boondocking can be out in the woods, it can be out in the desert, It can be
Walmart.
at a Walmart, at a Cabela's. Those Cabela's are some of our favorite boondock spots, to be honest with you.
Harvest Host.
And we are members of Harvest Hosts. And so we've done a number of Harvest Hosts. We really enjoy the Harvest Host. We get to meet a lot of really neat businesses and a lot of small businesses and some really neat people that are usually staying there with us.
That's right.
So we do like the boondock, and we boondock actually quite a bit.
Another question we get asked a lot is, why don't we have a washer dryer?
And why don't we have a washer dryer?
Because I like doing it at the laundromat under 2 hours. Folded, put away, everything.
Yeah, I know a lot of you say, ooh, laundromat, ooh, gag me. But, you know, we search out our laundromats. You actually look, if it's about laundry time, you actually look in the towns for reviews on laundromats,
I
don't
do,
you?
and they don't lie. Trust me.
It's kind of like researching RV parks. Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to do laundry?
Yeah. A lot of times we just do it at the RV park, which is really nice and
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah. Come into a place like this where they have 3 machines, huge commercial machines, and we can get everything done. And what does your wash take? Maybe 30 minutes?
Yeah. I have everything done under 2 hours.
Washed and dried and ready to
Folded.
fold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
folded.
in under 2 hours. So, and yeah, we carry, quite honestly, we carry $20 in quarters with us at all times, just in case.
We do.
But we don't care. We don't have a washer dryer for a number of reasons. Number one, probably the foremost, is the weight. Those things aren't light, and you know, you have to find a spot for them. We're right at max weight now as we are, and we would prefer not to have the weight. Number two, as you just heard, we like to boondock a lot, and water is very, very
it's
precious.
Gold. It's gold.
When we're boondocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if we use a bunch of water to do laundry while we're boondocking, then that takes away water we have for showers and cooking and drinking and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is it takes up a lot of gray water.
I was just gonna say it takes up a lot of gray water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if we're boondocking, we can usually stretch, if we're very conservative and we watch our water when we're boondocking, we can usually go a couple of weeks, and that's really stretching it thin.
Is, yeah.
But we can go a week and a half to 2 weeks on our gray water tank. Okay, so I know a lot of you are saying, well, how big's your gray water tank? Well, our tanks are 100 gallons of fresh, 75 gallons of gray, and 50 gallons of black. And we can usually stretch out that gray, if we're conservative, to a week and a half to 2 weeks on our gray. If we had a washer dryer in our rig, we could not do that.
No.
The other thing is that dryer takes up a lot of energy. And again, if we're boondocking, normally we'd be hooked up to 240 volt, and it's not going to work on our solar. As our ACs don't work on our solar, a washer or a dryer wouldn't work on our solar either. So we would like to conserve. We also like the storage space that the washer dryer compartment provides. Our rig, if you haven't seen the tour, take a look at our tour that we did and you'll see what we're talking about. But in our washer dryer prep, our rig is prepped for washer dryer, and it's prepped in the bathroom closet. And it's prepped for a stackable unit. And we actually use that space to our benefit.
Right. Coats.
Yep. Brooms.
Hiking things.
Hiking, yep.
Our ice maker.
Yep.
There's just a lot.
It's miscellaneous storage for us, and that storage, if you're full timing, storage is precious.
It is.
So that's why we opted not to put a washer dryer in our rig. I know a lot of you have got washer dryers or wish you had washer dryers, and that's okay. This is just us. We're telling you that's why we decided against the washer dryer.
Another question we get asked a lot is, how much does our rig weigh?
Yeah, and we get asked that a lot.
Daily.
So it's a two-part answer. The truck itself weighs by itself, full of fuel and loaded, about 22,600 pounds on the truck.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Our fifth wheel, we're right at maximum. When we're loaded up, it's right at 24,000 pounds. So you do the math, you can figure out what it weighs together. It weighs a lot.
We are big going down that road. Another common question we get is, with such a large rig, do we have problems trying to find a place to put it?
Yeah, ironically, we just did a video on that, and I'll put a link up here, but we are about 73 foot long. The truck's about 29 and a half, the coach is about 45, the pin is about 24 inches underneath the coach, so we're about 73 foot long total. Do we have a hard time finding a place to stay?
We've only had, that I can remember, 2 places that,
Yeah.
one I called and they said, no, you're not going to fit.
Yeah.
And we went to Thousand Trails in Las Vegas.
Yeah, not a good situation.
We have a video on that.
Yeah, so to answer your question, short and sweet, take a look at the video and you can see how we plan our trips. But we do a lot of research before we hit the road. And one of the things that we do is use our favorite app, RV Parky. We're not affiliated with RV Parky at all. It's a free app. It works really well for us. We look for big rig access when we do plan our trips. We do know, and we knew this from the beginning, we can't get into national park campgrounds normally in this
Right.
big rig. Mm-hmm. We don't fit into a lot of state parks, although we were in Michigan and we would have fit pretty well in a lot of their state parks. But that being said, we don't count on that at all. So we do a lot of research. We use our app, RV Parky. We do our initial planning with that. We look at Google Earth. We use Google Street View, and we call the parks. And we look at a lot of reviews.
We do. And a lot of them say, big rig friendly. Sometimes that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, their big rigs might be a 30-foot Class A.
Yeah, and we're basically the same size as a 45-foot or 43-foot Class A with a tag axle and an equipment trailer behind them. And so, you know, we tend to stay in a lot of the same places. But again, we do like to boondock. And so we look for Cabela's, we look for Walmarts, we look for a lot of casinos. We found that, especially in Upper Michigan.
Oh,
the
beautiful.
UP, yeah. So we came to see Pictured Rocks, and all the parks were full. They didn't have room for us. So we found a casino right on Highway Michigan 28, and we decided to come in and see what they had. And they've got half a dozen spots with 50 amp, but they're big enough to put our smart car in and plug in. So obviously we weren't going to fit. So we asked the security guard. He said, oh, well, he said, I don't have hookups on the other parking lot, but you can go over there and stay 3 or 4 nights. I said, okay. So Aaron came in and he parked next to the edge, and we parked door to door next to him, and now we're having a good time. We stayed at a lot of casinos there, and RV Parky shows the casinos. So yeah, it takes a little more research on our part, but we knew that going in, and we enjoy our large rig because this is our home, and we'd rather have the spacious space in our home than to, you know, be small enough to fit into a lot of smaller RV parks. But we've never found, in over 4 years of owning a big rig, we've never had an issue getting into big parks. Another question we get asked a lot is, what's a rig like this cost? Well, we actually have 2 rigs. We have the truck and we have the fifth wheel. We have the RV. I tell people, and our friends at Jones into Travel have actually documented this quite well. If you do your research and you take a look, you can pick up a Class 8 truck used with usually less than 500,000 miles on it, in good shape, and you have to do your due diligence. You have to have, you know, somebody take a look at it. You have to have it inspected. You have to do a dyno on it. You know, you have to be careful, but you can find good used Class 8 trucks, whether it be a Volvo or a Mack or a Kenworth or a Western Star or a Freightliner. There are a lot of them out there. You can find a good used truck with less than 500,000 miles. And remember, these are million-mile rigs for the most part, if they're well taken care of, for less money than you can buy a late model dually. And,
True.
you know, Aaron and Tina kind of documented theirs over at Jones into Travel. Take a look at their video series that they did on converting a Class 8 truck into an HDT hauler. But you can usually find that you will pay less for a good used truck than you will for a late model dually. That's what got us started looking for a big rig. Is we wore out 3 dualies before we went this route, and I was just getting tired of being nickel and dime to death on 1-ton dualies. And when I started looking at the Ford F450s, which is what I was going to upgrade to, you know, they were $90,000 plus.
And the used ones, if you could find them,
Yeah.
were ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. So the truck you can find, usually less money than you can spend for a late model dually. Now the RV itself, when we bought this, we ordered it back last fall. It was delivered and we took possession right around the middle of February, first part of March. At that time, this coach was going for, well, the MSRP was well over $200. I'm just going to tell you that. We did not come even close to that. And it's not because we're ambassadors. We actually paid for our coach, and we've got, you know, money into it. But you could pick this up, if you purchased it from the right dealer, you could pick this up for the mid 100s, somewhere in there. Now, we've since talked to Alicia. Prices, as many of you are finding out, have skyrocketed over this inflation craze that we're going through right now. And she said that prices have gone up on average $5,000 a month.
That's right.
From the factory. And so I honestly don't know what this coach would retail at. You'd have to call Alicia over at Rolling Retreats and find out what the latest pricing is going to be. But yeah, we're in the mid hundreds. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know what they are today. But remember, this is our home. You know, and that brings us to the next most common question that we get asked.
Right.
How do we afford this lifestyle?
We're not millionaires.
No.
Trust me, we're not even close.
And we weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth.
No. We were smart with our money.
Yeah.
He worked, he provided for our family, and then I ended up going back to work.
Yep.
And we paid cash for everything, and we saved, and he has a really good retirement, and now that we're old, we have Social Security. But we just were smart with our money, and
Yeah, we sold our house, we sold our ranch, and that afforded us a pretty good chunk of money.
yes.
We, you know, when we sold our ranch, prices weren't then what they are today. I mean, today, price for housing is ridiculous.
No, no.
But remember, on this, we live on a very, very, very strict budget. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. We budget every month, and everybody's asked us to do a budget video, and doing a budget video is so hard to do because everybody's lifestyle and travel style is different. If you travel once a week, you're going to put more miles on your vehicles than what we do. We tend to stay 2 to 3 weeks at a time. I'll tell you right now, we budget $400 a month for fuel, and so far we've been just fine with that.
Yes.
We budget, and this is our budget, we budget $900 a month for RV park stays. We don't even come close to spending that every month because we have a 1,000 Trails membership that we purchased pre-owned, and we stay in a lot of 1,000 Trails parks, and it costs us $580 a year. But we have no overnight costs at 1,000 Trails. So we look for 1,000 Trails parks first and foremost because of our membership with 1,000 Trails. But if you can be smart with your money, if you want to go out on this lifestyle, and by all means, this lifestyle is not for everybody, but it works for us, and we really enjoy our lifestyle. We enjoy traveling, we enjoy meeting people, and we can travel the country and see family and friends as we go along.
Yeah.
But this lifestyle, if you want to do it, you can do it. If you're smart with your money, you save your money, and as I say, we sold our ranch. This is now our home. We took a lot of that money from the sale of our ranch, and we purchased our RV, we purchased our truck, and the way to go is debt-free, obviously.
Absolutely.
If you can do it, and there is a way to do it.
And if you really want to do this, you can find a way to do it.
Yeah. So we weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth.
No.
We're not millionaires. We don't have family and friends, throwing money at us. We budget my retirement, and we try to stick to our budget as best that we can. Our biggest budget buster, quite honestly, is eating out or coffee.
And pants buster,
Yeah.
which we
Yeah.
in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's how we afford this lifestyle. We were smart with our money. We have money in savings. We have an emergency fund. We budget every month, and we try to stick to our budget as best we can.
And it's easy. It really is. We absolutely did this before we even sold our house.
Yeah.
We knew how much he was going to get for retirement, and we decided then and there that we were going to stay on that budget.
Yep.
And bank the rest.
We lived on my retirement, what we felt my retirement income was going to be. We lived on that for a year before we hit the road.
Yeah.
It was a big change in lifestyle.
Yeah, but not too bad. We don't do a lot.
Yeah.
We love to be home. We don't eat out a lot. That's a treat for us. I love to cook. And usually wherever we go, we have friends, so we hang out with them. So it's not bad.
Yeah. So those are the most common questions we get on a regular basis, usually at least weekly, if not daily.
Right.
A lot of you contact us asking questions, and we are happy to answer those questions. As I say, we love, love, love this lifestyle. We wouldn't change a thing. It's not for everybody.
No, it's
we're
not.
not trying to say it's for everybody, and we're not trying to say that it's perfect, because it's not. We stumble. We have things happen when we're on the road. Things break. We have repairs to do. But we love, love, love this lifestyle, and it works for us. Now, that being said, if you want to do more research on this lifestyle, and especially more research on the heavy-duty truck lifestyle, we have a website, sweettravels.com, and under the resources link, we have a number of links there, Facebook links, escapees information, rally information, and that's probably the best way to find out more about our lifestyle in the heavy-duty truck. If you're interested in heavy-duty trucks, take a look at our resources page on our website, sweettravels.com. And we have a number of links there, and there are 3 HDT rallies throughout the year. They have the East Coast Rally in April, they have the West Coast Rally in June, and they have the National Rally in Kansas in October, which we're going to attend here shortly.
Yes.
All the links for those rallies are on our resources page on our website. Take a look at those. If you've still got questions, feel free to email us. And that's the best way to get a hold of us, is through our email. We tried Facebook Messenger for a while, and it just is so cumbersome and so hard. Sometimes we don't even get notified we've got a message.
Yeah, that and Instagram also. I will look, and like 2 months ago, I had a question.
Yeah.
So, the links are to Instagram and Facebook are on our website. Go there, add us. We'd love to have you over
Yeah.
there. But if you do have a question,
Shoot us an email.
our email is the best way to get a hold of us.
Yeah, we get up in the morning. This isn't a business. We do this for fun. We actually do this for fun, and it gives us something to do. We really enjoy this. We enjoy sharing our journey. We're creating memories for ourselves. We love to share it with our family and friends, and we get to share it with you guys. And so many of you have come along and said that you enjoy following our journey, you enjoy our travels, you enjoy our lifestyle, and we love sharing it. And we've met so many of you out on the road.
Absolutely.
It's just been amazing.
And we're going to see so many more people
Yeah.
as we travel, so I'm really excited. But another thing is that there's a lot of people out there that will never be able to travel. And they thank us for this because they'll never be able to see the United States, only through our videos. So, sorry. It's very emotional for me, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we do. We really enjoy it. We love each and every one of you, and we want to thank you, all you new subscribers that have come along. We want to thank you for coming along. I mean, we're pushing the 20,000 subscriber mark now. That's kind of a milestone for us.
Yeah, it
Again,
is.
we don't do this as this isn't our job, but we do this for fun, and we do it as a hobby, and we do this for you. And you guys are what keep us motivated, quite
Oh,
honestly.
absolutely, absolutely. We just love you guys so much, and we're grateful you're here, and I gotta stop crying.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We just want you to remember,
It all starts with an idea.
and it does. You can bring your ideas to life. All it takes is a little bit of motivation and a little bit of research. Thanks for coming along, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.